John Raguso from the Fisherman magazine down at the wonderful, beautiful Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. I'm here with Chris, who's the Vice President of Engineering for Pursuit Boats. And Chris, tell us a little bit about your new baby here, the S248 Sport.
We're really excited to introduce the boat here at Fort Lauderdale. This represents an entry level into our sport series. It's really a fully feature-rich entry-level boat that takes you into that sport category. So whether you're looking to fish the boat hardcore and also have a little bit of softer touches, it blends that nicely in a platform.
One of the things that I'm looking at here is the classic Pursuit heritage. There have been 248s before, okay, in and out of the lineup, but I think this boat here, from what I could see, the high gunnels, spacious accommodations, shades front and back, optional, of course, and all of the rod holders, the cup holders, live wells, in-floor fish boxes, twin 12-inch screens. It certainly checks a lot of the boxes for someone who looks at a boat like this as more than just a fishing boat. She'll fish, but she'll also play pretty hard as well. I'm looking at the bow section of this boat, and there is a lot going on here. Starting with the standard coaming bolsters and the really thick, at least 2.5 or 3-inch cushions over here. There's a lot of places for a half a dozen people to sit down here and to get to know each other a little bit better. Throw in the optional shade, and you got a mate in the shade, I'm guessing, Chris, right?
Yeah, you do. We've got some nice speakers to enjoy.
That's right.
Got an optional bow boarding ladder up under the anchor locker.
So let's take a look at that for a second. What we have here in the very large forepeak is a considerably wide hatch that accommodates not only an optional boarding ladder, which is an interesting way of getting back on the boat when the bow's in the deep end of the pool, but we also have a windlass and a plow anchor with a little remote control that makes the entire thing work.
Well, integrated into the coaming walls here, nicely tucked out of the aisleway, you've got some backrests that'll rotate around. Turn this into a nice lounge area.
Look at that.
With a cup holder, coaming storage, recessed lighting, and even chargers for your phone and other electronics.
On a boat this size, a 24-footer, it's always, how should I say, an acrobatic experience to try to get in and get out of that head without killing yourself. But not on this boat. What we have here is a swing out door that a 400-pound person could get in and out of this thing with zero problems. Okay, with a hydraulic ram, keep the door open, and a handle, so getting in and getting out of the head area when nature calls is as pleasant and as efficient an experience as possible. At 6'3", 259 and a half, I'm going to go down in there and just see how easy it is. As you can see, a person considerably larger than myself can get down here pretty easily. And this handle is a great accessory to making that possible. Plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom, no pun intended, and porthole so you have fresh air and sunshine. Before I leave the bow area, there are two things I think we should take a closer look at. One of them is this cavernous underdeck storage area that you could put probably 3 or 4 people down there if you wanted to hide them out of the way. But certainly it's a great spot for water toys, wakeboards, skis, whatever, storage lines, and it's an unexpected bonus of using every square inch of the boat and putting it to good use. Another thing we should take a closer look at is that on either side, port and starboard, we have convenient storage cabinets where you can put life jackets, you can put dot lines, you can put whatever you need to have ready at a moment's notice, but tucked neatly out of the way. As we approach the Helm, the first thing that jumps out at me is not one 12-inch screen, but the ability to put two flush mounted into the dashboard, which by the way is darkly colored so as not to reflect light. Another interesting feature of the dash panel and the Helm is the fact that the steering wheel is easily adjustable for the size and the shape of the person who's driving the boat. If you want that wheel straight up, there she is. If you prefer to drive with the wheel at a different angle, it gives you all that, plus the ability of an Edson spinner to make those quick Helm adjustments as easy as pie. Another thing I like about the Helm, Ritchie compass, right on the line of sight of the operator. It's not over here, it's not over there, it's right where I'm standing, so my course is going to be true. Other things that you might like about this boat are the tempered glass windscreen on three sides and the automotive style windshield wiper that will enable you to see clearly when the weather turns awry. We have a radio box up top, which will keep your magnet on the VHF radio at least 3 feet away from your compass, so your compass will give you true readings. Another thing that's notable about the Helm area are the Helm seats, which, if you prefer driving standing up, you can use it as a backrest. If you like them down, you can hop on and take advantage of the footrest here that's built in. One person can be up, one person can be down, and if you like an armrest, they come up and down on demand. Yet another thing I like about this boat are the pull-up cleats. It's just one more obstacle that's out of the way when you don't need it, and easily available when you do. Cup holders, 2 of them in each gunnel, as well as 2 flush mount rod holders. One thing you can notice here is the wide pass-through between the in wall of the liner and the out wall of the console. Easily pass through without banging your shins, even if the weather's a little bit bumpy. Alright, large enough for Dorado, bluefish, a slot-sized striper, sea bass and blackfish, weak fish, porgies, whatever. This will work. And if you do get that really large bluefin tuna, you can always throw them down in the front with 4 of his friends. 2 of the things I noticed that stick out with the Pursuit S248 Sport are, number 1, it's got a Yeti cooler that tucks away so it's out from underfoot when you don't need it. I'm sure there's a lot of wires, a lot of hoses, a lot of pumps that you have to get access to. How do we do that on this boat?
Access below decks is always a primary importance across the model line, and with the 248, you've got a nice hatch here, a couple twists of the handle, slides right up, and you get to all your important components, batteries, diaphragm pump, even your fuel valves and fittings.
That's pretty cool. One of the first things you'll see with the transom is that you've got 4 vertical rod holders that flank the optional ski pad here. And another interesting feature is a 25-gallon live well that's lighted and is blue in color to try to keep the bait as friendly and as low-key as possible. Yet another feature that allows you to use every square inch of the transom area is the fact that it's got a hatch that goes across from one side to the other that lifts up, where you have to access the pie hatches underneath for rigging, but it goes down when it's time to walk across, which eliminates a lot of trip hazards, especially when you're out there in a little bit of a seaway. The Pursuit S248 Sport is still a fishing boat. We've looked at a lot of the sporty features of it for family and friends on the weekends. When it's time to bend the rods, she could do it with the best of them.